Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, Terri here, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots, and this is the week of June the 2nd through the 8th, 2024 that we'll be exploring. We have some interesting planetary action here. I understand as well we're going to have another bit of a solar flare. Won't be as big as the first one. It just depends on where you are and where it starts to emit. But if you missed the aurora borealis, I understand that you can see it better with a camera. If you take your phone or your camera and you take a picture of it, you'll see it a lot better than you can with the naked eye. I didn't know that the first time round. I kept going out in my very dark field and trying to see it and did not see it, and then found that out later. But that can affect us as well. We are magnetic human beings. EKGs, EEGs, we are very involved with electricity. Those little neurons that are supposed to fire are supposed to, the key word, fire in our brains so that maybe we will be able to move or blink or talk properly. It may interfere with some of that too. Now, some of you may notice different symptoms. Some of you may be a little bit sleepier than normal, or maybe trippier. Your spatial eye contact might be a little bit different, not as accurate. So just be aware of that, because this is where we spill. I've noticed the dogs during that time were. My dogs are not clumsy. They're working dogs, and they can pick a frisbee 9 feet out in the air. I don't know how they can get off the A-frame, go through the teeter-totter, hit the jumps, and then still catch the frisbee. I can't get a cup out of the coffee mug cupboard without knocking something over. So that attests to their ability to be spatially accurate. But I found them doing somersaults, tumbling, tripping, stumbling up the stairs. So I was doing it, but that's nothing new. But they were too. So I would suggest to you that during this next solar storm that we're going to be the victims of, and thankfully our grid didn't go down, will maybe make you not as accurate in what you do physically, maybe even mentally, who knows, as we should be or we could be. Now, the scary part of that is that Gemini is taking over, and Gemini is the thinker. So Gemini in the sun sign, Gemini will be in Mercury, the planet of our mind, how we process, how we think. That's going to occur on the 4th. It's still in Taurus, which gives us determination, strength of will, the ability to keep going. But as well, you add that Gemini in Venus. So that's a pretty heavy load of Gemini. Nothing wrong with Gemini. The challenge can be, or will be, in this particular case, thinking, maybe overthinking, maybe looking at things and not being able to ground ourselves, I guess would be the best way to put it. So if we have difficulty grounding ourselves, who knows where that's going to lead us? So when we look at that, how do we want to challenge our mind? How do we want to channel our mind? How do we work through things? Really, to me, a good example, or an example, I got one of my dogs, a decaf. She's an Australian Kelpie McNab mix, and she has difficulty focusing. She has this glassy look. So when she starts running around and all the dogs are running and there's noise, she goes into this zone of, I'm here, but I'm not here. I've seen people that I'm talking to have that look on their face. Where's your mind? And that's her. So she's mindlessly running. Now, with that, I have the job of trying to teach her how to think. under pressure or not under pressure. Even if there is no pressure, she has a hard time thinking. This is an extremely intelligent dog. And if I can channel that brain power, I've got a really, really amazing individual. And I will be able to, because I'm not going to give up until I do it. And this, I see her starting, for instance, if I throw the Frisbee over the A-frame, she's learning now to catch it. She's learning to sit. She's learning to down. She's learning to hit the pause table and slam herself down. She's learning to jump 2 or 3 jumps at a time and then come back and grab the Frisbee. So she's learning that if she can keep her brains and not just do mindless running, she has more fun. She gets to play with the ball. I throw the ball in the air, so she has the challenge of catching it in the air. So I'm starting to see some brains, the birth of new brains, I guess I would say, for her. And that's what it can feel like for us in the next little bit. So we just have to kind of pay attention to that. There'll be a lot of distraction, a lot of feeling untethered with this Gemini energy overtaking us. Now, the beauty of that is we'll be leaving Aries in Mars. Mars is the ruling planet. The ruling planet of Mars. The ruling planet of Aries is Mars. I do have words, honestly. I can't speak English. Just give me a moment. So the ruling planet of, I should have just quit while I was ahead, of Aries is Mars. Mars is a fire sign. And that's impulsive. That's run, 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 run. Now that will be moving on the 10th into Taurus, which will give us a lot more grounded ability to ground, to focus, to maybe look at things and own it. So it's a slower energy, not as impulsive as Aries, but it's more tethered. So we'll need that to pull into that energy when we've got so much Gemini floating around. So if you start to feel spacey, or that your mind's going 1,010 miles an hour, just stop for a minute and pull that Taurus energy, ground, be the bull, be that big muscly thing, and pull that in so that you can ground and maybe live through this. The new moon is going to be given to us. That's not a bad energy. The new moon's going to be given to us on Thursday the 5th. Now, the moon moves into Gemini on Wednesday. We'll feel a little bit ahead of time. So again, we've got lots of Gemini. Physically, we may feel more tender in the shoulders, the arms, the hands. If you have issues with your bronchial tubes or your lungs, it could surface then. Your vocal cords, thyroid gland. Just keep an eye on that. Those will be very vulnerable energy organs. Now, towards the end of the week, if you have a tender stomach or sensitive stomach, it could maybe look at that, or the female organs, because the moon goes into Cancer, and that tends to center out the female genitals and the mammary glands. I'm not going into them. I'm too old for that. You know what they are. So that they can be tender. So just keep an eye on that. Number 7. Oh, and the new moon. Before I go into that, the new moon gives us a chance to start new, to have new thoughts, to go with new behaviors, new ways of thinking. New is good. I've always liked new. I do like some of the old things too, but new is a good thing. So if you want to introduce something new into your life, a new behavior, a new pattern of thinking, new pattern of addressing life, perfect time for it. 3 days before Thursday and 3 days after gives you the opportunity to move into it much, much better. Now, as I was trying to say, the number 7 has been given to us for this week, and number 7 likes mental work. Big surprise when you've got Gemini energy there. So it'll help us to want to realize our potential, to want to work hard in order to improve ourselves. It'll help us maybe work in better friendships or more friendships, or try to cultivate different friendships, because Gemini is always interested in different things. It may put pressure on us to want marriage and partners in our life, so that can be complicated. all relationships can be very complicated, and it may push us with that Taurus energy coming up to be a little bit more independent than the Gemini wants us to be. So that could be something that we have a little bit of a war with: independence, the need for partnership. There's a little bit of a dichotomy there. This will help us with unexpected changes in our lives. Many of us have to go through this. My phone's been ringing off the wall, thankfully, that people trust me enough to phone me and allow me an opportunity to work with them. What they don't want us to do is force anything. So try not to force things if you can help it. In order to succeed in this next little bit, number 7 has asked us to communicate with others, experience life, develop self-confidence through communication, maybe with experience. Friendships and relationships are going to play a major role in the next little bit. So get ready for that. Material goals may be difficult to implement during this time, because this is an air energy. It's a little bit floaty or a little bit airy. So this is kind of an energy field that helps us to work with things that are unexpected a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more adaptability. Nothing wrong with that. And it'll try to push us towards having a rich spiritual life. That's nice. I like that. I haven't, people that are truly spiritual, don't harm other people, care. Now, I'm not talking about weirdos or fanatics or far left, far right people. I'm talking about people that walk their talk, the people that have tried to evolve, the people that truly care, that are truly compassionate. Now, that leads me to some of the cards that have been pulled. And that's kind of interesting how these things all... I wish you could see it. I wish this was audio. Well, not really. I have my pajamas on. But if it was audio and you could see this, then it would be supportive. The card that came up is the card of strength. And the picture in this particular deck is a woman that is trying to help an animal that's wild. This particular one happened to be a lion. Wild lions are not necessarily friendly pets. So I'm sure that they can be cuddly at times, but at other times maybe you're cuddled a little too hard. But this is about compassion, caring. So this woman stopped her busy day, overrode her fear of the lion, and recognized that the lion was in trouble and needed help. And she was willing to do that. So she put herself at risk. She took time out of her day. She put her stuff aside so that she could help in a compassionate, caring, and listening type of energy field to this animal to help it. Now, normally, a lion won't let a person take a thorn out of their paw, but she was patient. She was in no hurry, and she waited until it was right for the lion. And then with that, she helped the lion. Many of us, because the next card is the moon upside down, and maybe that could contribute to the new moon, but many of us are not listening to our instincts, are not listening to that inner voice. I mean, I don't know. Does anybody grow up and say that they want to be a pedophile? I don't think so. Does anybody start their life saying, I'm going to be a bank robber, I'm going to be a rapist, I'm going to be a murderer, I'm going to bang people in Costco, which happened to me on Friday. I was waiting in line, and this guy wanted to cut in front of me and came at me 90 miles an hour with his hair on fire and slammed into me. I don't do that well. He's lucky to live. He wasn't, well, no, I'm not going to go there. I've decided not to go there. He did live. But I don't think he's going to be banging into people too often after this. Anyway, I digress. this compassion that we are supposed to be showing in the next little bit, and that moon that is supposed to be our natural instincts upside down, with people maybe not listening to that inner voice, knowing that it's talking to us. Don't take that, it's not yours. Don't do this, it'll upset your neighbor. They're just tuning it out or turning it off. And I think that's where we're getting into trouble. We know in our heart of hearts, we do, whether we want to or not, we know what's right and what's wrong. And when this card is upside down, it's saying that we're not listening. We've got it shut off. Have I ever done that? Absolutely I have. I felt terrible about it later, knowing that I knew what I should be doing and didn't do it. I shouldn't have eaten that chocolate. I did it anyway. Now there's consequences. So I think that there are more consequences coming at us in the absolutely near future for some of the decisions that we've made, good and bad. Some of the roads that we've taken, good and bad. And collectively, not just individually, but collectively. So we have a price to pay, just kind of like the national debt, right? It's come and due. So I think that's something we have to think about, is how do we pay back for some of the things that we've not done? And I think there's still time. I do. I'm optimistic about that. I think we can still do things good. We can make amends. We can go out of our way to see what another person needs and maybe help them with that. As you know, you don't have to sacrifice yourself completely, but I do think that it's possible. So that's basically, kids, what the cards are saying for us this week. It's saying, try to look around and be compassionate. Try to use patience with each other. That wild lion. Try to listen to see when it's appropriate to help and when it isn't. Maybe we just have to stand there and watch them work through it until it is time to help, and wait until that intuition tells us it's ready. We're ready to go. We're ready to do this. It's a complicated week, but it's doable. And that Gemini energy, I do believe, is going to offer us the opportunity to think through it, to maybe make our minds work hard and try to find the solution or potential solution. On that note, gratitude. I would like to thank our Charlie O'Brien for posting this on Spotify podcasts, on Apple iTunes, on Amazon Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And he gives me the link, and then I post it on Facebook. I thank all of you for listening and generously giving me your time and maybe taking advantage of some of the information that the universe has to offer us. Charlie as well has created the website, www.terriworld.com. I'm so grateful for. And he has archived some of the podcasts that maybe we've missed, or maybe you just want to go back and listen and see what that really said. 4 or 5 of them he usually has up there. If you are interested in training your dog or having just fun on the farm and letting your dog exercise and enjoy farm life, ticks and all, we will be starting, I think, we will be starting again Tuesday, June the 11th. We finish our last class on the 4th of June. So it's Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock. We have sections of 5. And if you're interested in bringing your dog and your family out to be on the farm, enjoy the weather, enjoy being away from the city, you are absolutely welcome. Just give me a call at 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to help you. If you are interested in a reading as well, those are the numbers and the website to get in touch with me. Thank you so much, Charlie, for all of your work, and thank all of you for your time and donating that to me. I'm very, very grateful, as always. Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy that brain of yours. Try not to drop too many things. Alrighty, bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.